How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. A friend of mine in the office here said, "Hey, ask Harold about that time you got threw out at the plate by Bo Jackson."
There is not a day that goes by that somebody doesn't ask me about that. You know, we did a whole
Oh,
show about a week ago. It was the 35th anniversary of it. So, been
yeah.
a while. Been a
Well,
while, but it was an amazing play. I'll tell you that.
I know. Well, you were an amazing player. I really
I tell
appreciate
Bo
you.
I made him. Heisman Trophy and all. It doesn't matter.
That's right. That's right. Well, I have really enjoyed watching the interviews you did with the Negro League players, and I want to ask you how much fun that was for you.
Oh, it was fantastic. And, sitting with those guys, telling their stories, to be in a ballpark that they played in Rickwood. I've met a number of Negro League players through the years, but not in a setting of the ballpark where, those memories were like flowing. It's like listening to an old song. You start hearing everything, thinking about everything that you were doing when you heard that song. And that was like for them being in that ballpark. They were telling so many stories that we had to edit it down. We could have been talking to them for 2 hours. It was amazing.
They loved it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
did.
so much fun. When you were you're such a baseball nut as well as a great player. Um, was it easy to take your mind back to those times when they were talking?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first of all, when you walk into the ballpark, you feel like you're in the 50s. You're stuck in that time warp, especially at the time that when we were there, the field had not been renovated yet at all. So it was still in a pretty good older state. Um, to see that, and then they start telling stories, and you can start imagining where players hit balls and who played there. And, it housed over 130 Hall of Famers, not just Negro League ball players. And so I've had a number of friends through the years that actually played in that ballpark, and they told many stories. So it's one of those that stood out with Old Yankee Stadium and with Fenway Park. And when you start telling stories, that was the company it kept.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts was when the guy was talking about the Indianapolis Clowns and all the things that those guys did. That was pretty good stuff.
Yeah, when he was talking about the first baseman sat in a chair, and he was like, "Yeah, the ball got hit to me in right field. I didn't like that too much because it kept getting balls hit by him." But the fun and the character of those guys, the characteristic that they revealed such great traits of being such good people at the time is really nice.
When you think about Willie Mays, Harold, and I know you've seen all the videos, the basket catch and the polo
Yeah.
grounds and all that stuff. What do you think of when you think of Willie Mays? What comes to mind?
Well, my first impression, he was the biggest star in our household growing up as a kid. I have older brothers, and they were all Willie Mays nuts. And so when I had signed pro ball and was playing, and we had instructional league in Arizona, and we were playing against the Giants instructional league team. This is like 1982. And we get off the bus, and Willie Mays is out in center field teaching Chili Davis how to catch fly balls. And of course, he was doing the basket catch. And we just sprinted to him. We didn't even stop. We just hopped off the bus and started running. That's Willie Mays. And just went out there, and everybody was saying hi and patting him on the back. And it was just, it's when your heroes live up to the expectation, it takes it to a whole nother level. And that was Willie Mays for us.
And I'm sure that also gave you a lesson in how to handle folks when they come up to you and want to talk.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, the biggest thing, the time that I came up, it was still very close to a lot of the guys that played in the Negro Leagues. Willie Mays played in the Negro Leagues, Hank Aaron played in the Negro Leagues, and they were still ball players or coaches when I was breaking into pro ball in the 80s. So that mindset of passing the game on to that next generation was what was taught in Major League Baseball. And I remember passing it on, whether it was another African-American player or Brett Boone. I remember teaching Booney how to turn double plays and talking about certain things, and he'd pass it on to the next guy. And I'd learned that from Bill Mazeroski, who had learned it from one of his old teammates who played in the Negro League. So this just got passed through baseball. And that's the way the sport was supposed to be and is to this day.
What are you looking forward to the most about Thursday?
I'm excited for the fans. An event like this, Major League Baseball puts on the greatest events, and seeing the diversity of the fans that come walking in, their faces are going to be full of smiles, and they're going to be blown away. And seeing all the players in those uniforms and just understanding the moment and what we're representing here on that day is really special.